Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nominations for the 2024 Video Game Awards are out now, and it is more apparent than ever that the gaming press completely turned their backs on Dragon Age the Veilguard the moment that they saw that this game wasn't going to pick up any cultural relevance, and the sales numbers are abominable and abysmal. This game, for those who don't remember, was propped up by the gaming journalism industrial complex harder than any game I've seen in a long time. They went full in on this game. Do you remember that? It was only a couple weeks ago. They went full in on this game. 9s and 10s out of 10s. This game is a return to form for BioWare. This is a return to the old days, the glory days. This was before you, the consumer, had a chance to actually see what the real game was like. These companies were willing to lie to you in exchange for either cash or insider access or some sort of ideological adherence or a combination of all three, but they were willing to basically scam you, trick you into getting you to pay your hard-earned money for a game that, as it turns out, is so shockingly shit that at the end of the day, it didn't even take a couple weeks for the gaming press to turn their back completely on this game. And already there are articles talking about how, Dragon Age the Veilguard is that friend that's a little too woke. Criticizing the more insufferable elements of the game. And the thing is, this is all stuff you should have mentioned in the build-up. The whole reason why nobody trusts you in the gaming press is because your job should be to basically tell people, what is this game going to be like? Is this game going to be worth my money? Is it going to be worth my time? How is this game going to ultimately reflect on my life and my wallet and all that stuff? And for this game here, it's obvious that the game is too woke. Dragon Age the Veilguard is that friend that's too woke. This is from the gamer. How many times did we hear that this game, no, it's not too woke. No, this game is great. No, you're all crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. The gaming press came out in full force to try to gaslight you, to trick you, to buy this game, and they don't even care about it. They pull the ripcord immediately. They have no duty of care for their job or for what they're doing. They will lie to you gleefully while trying to morally grandstand and trying to say, oh, we're the good guys here. We're the journalists. These people are liars. These people are con artists. They're scammers. People like Jason Schreier. What was his response? There's no way you genuinely like this turd. I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. This is a guy that definitely was stuffed into lockers when he was a kid. And rightfully so. We really need to bring back bullying for people like Jason Schreier. I'm just going to say it. The review scores for this game, 82. That does not reflect a game that got one nomination. One. Dragon Age the Veilguard. How many nominations? One. And that's an innovation in accessibility. So, Asmongold actually made a good point on this. Innovation in accessibility, that's basically, and his thing is like, well, yeah, this seems right because the puzzles were so easy, even I got them right. That was what Asmongold said. And it actually makes sense. The puzzles were easy. The dialogue was retardedly simple. It was just brain dead. There was no real thought put into it. I've gone over and over and over and over about how just completely absurd it is to call it a Dragon Age game when you play Origins and the characters and the setting and the dialogue, all that stuff is just so much better. And there is no excuse for it because I want you all to understand something. And I know that there are some people that don't really, they go, oh, maybe you go too far in a couple places. Maybe your tone's a little much. I'm never changing my tone, by the way. These people are freaks and they're morons and they're retarded. There's no changing that. I'm just calling it like I see it. But the fact is that these people, that came out in 2009. The internet has given people, especially game devs and publishers, access to more data than they ever have had in the whole of human history. So, knowing what people like and knowing what people don't like in their media, in their video games, has been easier than it's ever been. There are videos on YouTube that are hours long talking about, hey, we like this, we like this, we like this. There are psychological documentaries saying the human mind, this is what they like, this is what they don't like. There are basically movies, hour-and-a-half long movies of people saying, here's what I don't like about Mass Effect 3's ending. Here's what I don't like about Dragon Age 2. Here's what I don't like about Dragon Age Inquisition. Here's what I don't like about this. And you have all of this information at your fingertips. You have all of this information for free. It is free. So it is not an excuse of any kind. There is no excuse of any kind. I don't want to hear about how tough it is to be a developer. It's easier than it's ever been. You have access to a wealth of knowledge that gives you the key to make something successful. You know what the audience wants, and you resent them for it, and you become bitter and spiteful, and you make something that you know that they're not going to like, and then you blame them for not liking it. Here's the deal. I am not going to pay my hard-earned money because you want to send a political message. You have some trauma in your life. Fine. You have some trauma. Maybe your mom didn't affirm you enough. Frankly, I think the problem is the opposite. I think you were affirmed too much. I think your dad didn't take off his belt enough. I think if your dad set down the law and beat your ass with a belt to basically discipline you and show you that the world is not just your playground, you're not the main character, taught you some manners and some respect and some perspective, I think that would have gone a long way to giving you the edge that you need. Because notice, people in the past, people from the older generations that actually did live in a country and a household with discipline and under a more Christian, a more religious structure, those people can make some of the best literature of all time. I'm talking about Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about Harry Potter. You look at these books that come out of these cultures, and what are we getting today? We're getting Superman's gay son. Oh, wow. I've never wanted to read anything less in my life. Oh, yeah, but we're getting Dragon Age. You like Dragon Age. But the main focus of this is this disgusting abomination freak of a character that is the most insufferable person. You take the elements that people already don't like, the fact that this person is lecturing the audience and lecturing the people in the world about pronouns, which I could give less of a shit about. You combine that with them being an insufferable, unreasonable, loudmouth, aggressive, disgusting, brash, just complete and total bellend. I'm telling you, that is the most easily identifiable recipe for trash I've ever seen. So I don't know why you can't learn. With all of this wealth of knowledge, I don't understand why you think you're going to be the special one to change things. You're not. And guess what? First of all, let me pull this up. This was an article that was written October 28th. Dragon Age the Veilguard is the friend group simulator we've been waiting for. So this is before the game release. By the way, get by with a little help from your friends. Todd Harper, get by. You know, and not BY or BYE. No, get by. BI is, you know, yeah, that's the most important thing. By the way, if gaming journalists like your game, I think that that's already a red flag. And if they're writing little quippy lines like this, like get by with your friend, that's another massive red flag. And it's like, these people don't understand that not only are they not the main character, they're not the protagonist, they're the villain. And they're not the main villain, they're a horde of villains. They're a bunch of brain-dead zombies just looking for more stuff to consume. They are a plague. And so I look at articles like this, and it's pure bullshit and just fluff and filler and brain-dead garbage. Oh, puzzles in explorable zones have a limited number of forms, but thankfully none are too distracting or frustrating. They're puzzles for retards. Even Asmongold is like, wow, you know, I can figure these out. It's not that they're not frustrating, they're not difficult at all. And you look at the comments. The comments on this particular article are so hilarious because they are purely coping. Like 3 weeks ago, there was a very small but passionate, diehard contingent of people that have gone radio silent as this game has been basically buried. And now, there was one big snub in the Game Award nominations. Dragon Age the Veilguard, a game engineered to succeed at the Game Awards, did not. Boy, that's a game engineered to succeed at the Game Awards did not. That is quite a title. The Game Awards aren't known for much in the way of shock and surprise, and so it proved with the 2024 nominations a fairly well-rounded list in which most of the year's best reviewed and best loved games got some love. But there was one title very striking for its almost complete absence, Dragon Age the Veilguard. The Game Awards voting jury snubbed BioWare's latest game in a series of key categories where it would have been expected to compete. It secured just one nomination for innovation and accessibility, which is decided by a specialist jury. Yeah, emphasis on special. Yeah, so they won the category that's for retards. That's what I've been saying. And that's exactly where the game belongs. This is a surprise to nobody. Nobody thinks this is a surprise. Although, actually, I shouldn't say that. I am actually surprised. I have to retract that. I have to take that a step back. I thought this game was going to get nominated for Game of the Year. So that is a surprise. That is true. Now, the reason why I didn't say it was a surprise is because in a normal system, there's no chance in hell this game would ever get nominated for anything other than the retard category. As a narrative-led blockbuster in a famous series with slick production values, Dragon Age the Veilguard is exactly the kind of game that tends to do well at the Game Awards. Its predecessor, Dragon Age Inquisition, won Game of the Year in TGA's inaugural year, 2014. Granted, the reception of the Veilguard has been mixed, well, that's putting it mildly. And with its Metacritic rating settling at a 82, a nomination for Game of the Year seemed beyond its reach? Interesting. Even though that is 1 point higher than Black Myth Wukong, which did make the cut. More tellingly, though, the Veilguard did not score nominations for Best Narrative or Best Picture. Well, Best Narrative. I mean, yeah, it didn't deserve Best Narrative. Maybe Worst Narrative. Maybe Most Insufferable Narrative. Two areas where BioWare games tended to excel. No longer past tense. And which are less review dependent. It also missed out in Best Role-Playing Game. This was an exceptionally strong category this year. 3 of 5 nominees, Metaphor, Final Fantasy, and Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Also secured the nomination for Game of the Year. And the other two, Dragon's Dogma 2 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, are unconventionally excellent. Even so, failing to join this company is surely not the result BioWare or publisher EA wanted after a decade of development. No, most certainly not. Were there any other snubs? Perhaps a few minor ones. It was a surprise not to see much loved EA Sports College Football 25 score a nomination in the sporting/racing game category, although this might be down. Okay, get to the point. Okay. All right, so yeah, that's basically it. In the end, though, there's not much in this set of nominees to ruffle any feathers outside of BioWare's offices, that is. I will never understand how anyone can have any faith in games journalism ever again. I don't understand how anyone could make a pre-order on the recommendation of Polygon, Kotaku, IGN, all these websites, Eurotrash. I don't understand how anyone can trust any of these companies ever again, or any of these people, Paul Tassi, Jason Schreier. All these people lied to you from the beginning to try to trick you into playing this left-wing propaganda game. And then when you realize very quickly that the game was a woke pile of garbage, then the media does a complete 180 and starts pretending that, oh no, the game has always been problematic. The game has always been trouble. Oh, Dragon Age the Veilguard is that friend that's too woke. It's like, you were telling us that the game was good. The game was excellent. But if we take a look at the numbers, like, look at this. This is Jason Schreier. This was October 31st. Go woke, top the charts. So this freak is trying to paint the Veilguard as though it were a success, as though it were thriving, as though this basically owned the chuds. And now they're radio silent and sort of backtracking. Jason Schreier deleted those comments. And so I make these videos to remind people of the reality that these freaks in the media cannot be trusted. And they will continue to lie to you, whereas independent media will give you the truth. Here it is. Players right now, 21,000. 24-hour peak, 24,000. This game is only going to go down from here. Holiday sales are not going to recover this game and rescue it. And I will reiterate again, that this game did have potential. But the potential in this game could be found in returning to form for BioWare. And I mean actually returning to form. Having characters and scenarios and situations that are reflective of what people want from Dragon Age. Now, some people may not like the way that I phrase this, but this is a reality. I don't want to play a game and have an ugly-faced Chinese or Asian elf who's an obnoxious retard that is one of the most unbearable characters aside from the other character that you have in the game, that's not appealing to anyone. No one was going to find that interesting. Then you also have the issue of the fact that you have the dwarf who's apparently bisexual or something. No one wants to romance the dwarf. Then you've got Tosh and Oma, or that character is just, it's a disgusting abomination in and of itself. And then all the other characters you have are brown, or, oh, I'm Indian, or oh, I'm black, or you have perverted the culture of creativity by making it all about race and sex. And adding in your perverse, weird, mentally ill, degenerate perversions into the game. Now, when I play Dragon Age Origins, you can make the character any race you want. You can make him black, white, Asian, whatever you want. But notice that the first character you meet is, your dad is, white. But then you meet Duncan. And Duncan's a cool character. He's not white. My point is that back then, while most of your initial companions were white, Morgan, Alistair, Liliana, then you got Sten, and you got Wynn. And so I'm looking at this, and there was a rich tapestry of characters, but it was more about the personality types. You could say, well, Alistair and Morgan were both white. They were completely opposite ends. And that's what made it interesting. You freaks, you focus on the racial. You focus on things that are immutable and these weird, just disgusting things that you think are important and are immediately revolting to most sane, normal human beings. And that's why your games fail. Because you fundamentally don't understand what it is to be a human being. You treat everything like it's some kind of game, some kind of social experience, some kind of therapy session. And it's just not. I don't want to hear about your issues with your parents because they rightfully didn't understand whatever cult-like, degenerate, disgusting freak garbage you were trying to introduce into your household. I'm non-binary. No, you're not. There's no such thing. You are a binary. You are a male or a female. It's as simple as that. There are no third genders. There are no third sexes. You are a male or you are a female. It's as simple as that. By making a character non-binary, you immediately make that person antithetical to reality. That person is a joke. And by the way, I will also mention in conclusion to this, Dragon Age Origins, you can dismiss almost any character immediately. I don't think you can dismiss Alistair, but I know that you can dismiss Liliana, and I know you can dismiss Morgan. I haven't tried to dismiss Alistair yet. I don't think you can at this point. I do know later in the game something happens that you can get rid of him. But the point is, the media lied to you. They tried to manipulate you. They tried to take your money, scam you out of getting a game that you would otherwise want. They had no duty of care for this, giving it 9s and 10s out of 10s when the game is a 2 out of 10 at best. And it is so completely unethical the way they did just a complete 180. A complete 180 when they took a stand, and not only took a stand in favor of the game, but insulted people who were critics of it, and tried to demean you and gaslight you and berate you and belittle you for pointing out some of the things that you thought were important to articulate and some of the reasons why you didn't like the game. The character creator, admittedly, is better than it was in Dragon Age Origins. However, the fact that you can't make a character with big tits and a big ass, where you can do that in other games give you way more variety. The fact that you can't make a character like that is noticeable. Top surgery scars should never be in a game where there's magic. And by the way, it just goes to show you that transgenderism is a cult? Because if you actually believe that you are the gender to which you think you are, wouldn't you play the opposite gender? Instead of creating some like Frankenstein's monster abomination, some character that has like surgery scars, wouldn't you much rather live in a world like here's my issue with all this. Putting aside the fact that I think transgenderism is a mental illness and should be treated as such, and these people should be given help and medication and basically steered in the right path to not castrate themselves so that they may have a future once they, get out of this, just absolute insanity. The fact of the matter is that if you're playing a game, why on earth would you want to be transgender in a game with magic? You're basically getting isekai'd into a world and you have the same problems that you have in this world. That's insane to me. Like, the disgusting top surgery scars that guaranteed nobody wants to look at, you're going to have that on the character instead of giving these people the ability to actually be the gender to which they want to be. It's insane. The whole thing is insane. These people are freaks. It's disgusting. Games journalism is completely and totally discredited. BioWare is going to be, they're going to be up for sale soon, or they're just going to be put out of business. They're going to be taken out back and just popped. Metaphorically speaking, of course. But they only have themselves to blame. Because the recipe for what people wanted with Star Wars and, Knights of the Old Republic, and with Dragon Age and maybe a Jade Empire or two, or what people wanted from Mass Effect and all these other games, it's really simple. It's really, really simple. You did it before, but you refuse to do it now. Because you're obsessed with a type of politics that people find to be absolutely inexcusable, unacceptable, and disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. See you next time.